Yo, Wagwan. This your boy, Jeton, legendary. Look here, folks. We have a Skyrim photo session. It's been a little while, but this one's special. You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title. As you guys know, my little profile picture, this guy right here, okay? This is here in the world of Warcraft. I've been playing Warcraft for 20 years, okay? Well, in those 20 years, I created 3 characters. A character by the name of Raimundo, my second oldest character. Then I have Dejalana, my first ever shaman, and the first character I ever made when TVC dropped back in 2008, 2007, when I was just 11 years old. And then my second oldest blood elf, first ever assassin rogue, Victoria. Okay, I've recreated some of my Warcraft characters, folks. That's right. This is a photo session with 3 Warcraft characters. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell, shows people join Legendary playing sports channel become legendary. I do all things photography, virtual, real life, and sometimes AI. With that being said, check out Instagram. That's where I post most of these photos. Check out Deviant for the stuff that's a little too much for Instagram, but never too much. Don't go over there expecting madness. Check out the gaming channel. Check out the music channel. Let's go. Alrighty, folks. Starting off with Raimundo. Alright, I know the fit, right? But I was thinking, what's the most night elf thing I could make her kinda sorta rock? I'm like purple jewels, the white cloths. It's pretty night elf looking. It's what's her name? Well, that snapping is making the mic peak. I don't know how loud that actually is for y'all though. There's a character in Warcraft, I forget her name, but she wears like white robes. Of course, not like, not on the same level of sauciness as this, because Warcraft, but somewhat similar. Of course, there's only so many cloths you could get. This is also a low-level character, so there's only so many places I can go. Need a dense forest. Okay, I'm thinking I might have to use the custom forest, because I don't, yeah, she's too low. I can't really go nowhere. I ain't even do Bleak Falls yet. So let me head on down to Riverwood. It's gray as fuck outside. Now check. Okay. Obviously, in Warcraft, night elves are by no means built like this. But see, here's the thing. I was being lazy. The top half of this body that I already created for Nede, the archer, is somewhat similar to night elves, a tall but muscular build. Honestly, the only thing that really makes it different, because night elves in Warcraft are built, they're very tall, slim, but muscular people. The thing that just makes this a little different was this body was built more attuned for a Skyrim world where, you know, people weren't nearly as shredded back then as they are today. So naturally, she would have a little bit of extra thickness to her on top of the muscle. This spot should be good, so I'm like, you know what, let me just use this body. I didn't feel like making a new one. Only one I had to make a new one for was absolutely Deja, because Draenei's are built so much differently from everyone else, especially having hooves. The only weird part is Deja, well, this is Skyrim. There's no way for me to give her hooves. That's going to be the strange part with Deja. Other than that, you know, pretty dang similar. Wait till you see that character, or you technically already saw her. I like this part of the rock with his backside right here. I'm like, let me do the most night elf theme I can think of. White, luxurious robes and stuff like that with like some type of purple jewelry-ish type of thing. It right here be good. It's like a little ledge. Perfect seat. All that. I'm like, boom. But yeah, it's not the proper night elf build, but dang great, so. Hold up. So you just gonna watch this many minutes of the video and you ain't even gonna hit the subscribe button? That's crazy to me. Subscribe right now, man. Let's get back into the video. Look dang great, so I'm gonna leave it just like that. Let's go ahead and bring that brightness up a little bit. Or a lot of bit. Why is it so dark in here? I just realized. It's not usually this dark. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Not usually this dark in here. I got the idea from, like I said, Ziara just looking like, okay, there we go. Oh, it must have been cloudy. I didn't realize. stars is gone. We lost the stars. Oh, no, that's not right. Not right at all. Not for a night elf. It used to be dark of the nights, but I had the stars in the sky. I want the stars back. What are you on this side now? Shoot. Stars would have been cool in the background. I done switched it around on X. Dang it! I messed up. I had the stars where I wanted them. I switched it around. Oh well. Way to move them, but I don't know if I'm gonna time too fast if I do it. I can't look up very high. I mean, I could, but we're gonna be directly underneath her. That's not what I'm trying to do. Yeah, I wanted the stars back there. Them stars have been clean. I also want to make use of the waters. Beautiful waters. Should be at an angle here. It might not look right. Let me slow down the time too while we're at it. We don't lose the stars too fast. Alright, and boom. I need to reduce the size of her the front of her neck, because as you can see, it's clipping a little bit. Careful now. It's clipping a little bit. Other than that, I mean, this character came out fucking great, man. I was not disappointed in what my work had brought me. A night elf in the Tamriel world. Didn't even take that long to make. Say, no, 105 is good. I brighten this up a little bit. And contrast is fine where it was. And boom. I've been trying to reduce the amount of color I add to my photos because I realize I've been adding way too much. 120 is just a little too high. As you can see, she's a little too pink, so we needed about 105 is perfect. Doesn't add too much color, keeps the cleanliness of the photo. I was adding 10 tons worth of color. This bridge might be a problem. I kind of forgot that was there. Though I do have to be careful. I need to push her eyeballs back. Her eyes are too far forward, so if I make her smile too hard, we'll start clipping through. Or is that just the glow? Okay, no, never mind. There we go. Her eyes start clipping. Oh, can't make her smile too hard, so about 40 does the job. See, it clips a whole lot less. But that's easy to fix. I just gotta push her eyeballs back. That means I put her eyes too far forward. Which was probably an accidental. They're not that far forward, but, you know, I'll check it out. I'll check it out. Easy fix, though. Because of Ziara, the troll, I'm like, you know what? I need to make some Warcraft characters now. Okay, that would just be kind of sick, number one. Number two, I don't actually use Warcraft for photography purposes because it's just not good looking enough of a game. If I'm gonna do, you know, a game where I can recreate some characters, Skyrim seems like a dang good idea. High quality, great character customization, especially with mods, extremely versatile. It wouldn't make sense to use anything else, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, boom, let me create some Warcraft characters, and they all came out fucking magnificent. Especially Deja. My Deja definitely came out the best. My Shammy. She hands down came out the best. I'm gonna say the most accurate is Ritoria because that one was the easiest. The best is Deja in terms of how close I got. And, well, I mean, Night Elf is pretty simple, so. Only thing I couldn't do properly was the markings on her eyes because the other ones just, the color was very bad. Color was very bad and very off. I'm like, alright, I'll go with these ones instead then. Which ended up being nice anyway. Only weird part for, like I said, with Deja, Draenei, for those who don't play Warcraft, Draenei's do not have feet, they have hooves. So that's going to be the odd part. Seeing a very Draenei looking character with no hooves. I tried to look it up when I was creating her, there was none. I mean, there was one, but it was for a different body type, and it had deer colored fur, which obviously isn't going to work because Draenei's have no fur on them outside of the hair on their head. I guess if you wanted to go lore wise, they probably would have hair and, you know, the important body parts that require hair. Other than that, they're not. They have no fur. They have no. They got hair, no fur though. So that's not going to work, especially if it's deer colored. That's not even going to make sense to the character now one bit. So there were some hooves, just weren't correct. If it would have been more just attached to the character's skin tone, they would have been perfect. I'd be used for that character, but they were not. I'm like, well, guess she's gonna have to be kind of odd. I mean, you never know. As long as we never go downward, you'll never know. Each and every single photo, we never go too low. That way no one could ever see that our Draenei is not fully correct. That'd be kind of dumb. I'm sure it'll look okay. It's gonna be weird to me because I've been playing Warcraft for so dang long. I know what the Draenei is supposed to look like. As where if you have no idea, it wouldn't bother you to see it. It would just be a heavily customized Skyrim character. As for me and anybody who plays a lot of Warcraft, it's gonna look pretty fucking weird. Because of how accurate I made the Draenei. The accuracy in it is gonna make it look strange for sure. I'm gonna do we're gonna switch over to Retoria after this. And it's funny too because of these that mod I got that gives you these little Warcraft pieces. I can even add some little bit of jewelry to them as well. That's how I got the horns on Deja. Those horns aren't normal at all. Those came from this the mod pack that has these, which unfortunately the person that made it disabled the mod, so it unfortunately does not exist. I would have to re-upload it, which I don't know if you're allowed to do that because the mod is hidden. Well, they hid it for a reason. It's not deleted, it's just hidden. So I don't know if I would have that capability to re-upload it. I don't even remember who made the crap. Oh, so long ago. It might be possible though, because somebody has a Chinese translation variant of it. Problem is, you know, if you ain't got a translator or nothing, that's gonna be a little hard to deal with. The shooters, it never would hurt to test. I'm pretty sure it's called WoW Accessories. I'm pretty sure the person's name is something witchy. Or witchy something. Not something like something, but something like it's witchy and rose or whatever the fuck. So it's witchy something or something witchy. I don't remember exactly though. I downloaded this pack a little while ago. Oh shoot. Oh, I'm gonna say I don't even got the photo. I do. It's right here. I just have it really small for some reason. Okay, we got 5. Let's try to find some seated poses here. Like, we gotta take her to the forest. Obviously, as a night elf, night elves are forest beings. I mean, night elves are forest folks. I mean, most elves are. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of things with like elves or nothing, but I'm pretty sure most elves are considered like forest creatures, forest peoples of the forest. The night elf was the first character I ever made. Started playing World of Warcraft back in the day, back in 2005. My oldest character, Jedom. My night elf rogue, Jedom in the building. You know what I mean? He was my first character. I will be attempting to make him too. It's just not going to be an easy one. I don't do male characters very often. So whenever it's time to recreate a male character, that's always a tough one to do. Just for the simple fact that I don't make male characters super often. Just for the simple fact that you know, I know what the people want to see. I know what I want to see, and well, keep it 100 with you. That's not a male character. But sometimes, you know, you gotta have some swaggy characters. You gotta have some swaggy male characters too. You know what I mean? Gotta have at least 1 or 2. Unless you predominantly do male characters, and of course, you know, I personally predominantly do female characters. for obvious reasons. I like making great looking characters. And it always reminds me that dude was that. I was like, make one effing male character, would you? Somebody else replied to him before I even got to reply to him and said no. I mean, yeah. Black Desert, Pearl Abyss, Kakawa Games, they do it on purpose. They make great looking female characters. They give them the best gear. So why in the world am I gonna go for second best and the first best is the prettier characters? You feel what I'm saying? That doesn't even make sense. That don't even make sense. Okay, she can go for that. That don't even make sense, you know what I'm saying? I got all their height proper too. So she's about 6'9", maybe 6'10", which is good for Night Elf female. Which are about 6'9", 6'10", 6'11". Male elf is about 7-ish, 7'2", although Raimundo and Jadam are supposed to be much larger than the average elf. Raimundo probably standing at like 7'2", Jadam at like 8'2". So he's stupend. They're both stupendously tall. And well, Raimundo's taller. She's not stupendously tall. Jadam, on the other hand, would be stupendously tall. Night Elf males are supposed to be 7'2", which means he would be a whole foot taller than the normal height. So average height for men here in America is 5'9". That means the man will be 6'9". So Jadam is much taller than average, as we're Raimundo at 7'2". She would be slightly taller than average. Average here in America, women are about 5'4". So, what she 6'9", 7'2". How many inches is that? My math is terrible right now. So that'd be, you know what I mean? So she would be 5 inches taller than the average height. So she would be 5'9", which is it's tall for a woman, but it's not like super tall. Or Jadam is super tall. The dynamic of that is always crazy though when you think about it. A woman at 6 foot would be a man at 6'5". So that's some tall peoples, you know, that's some very tall peoples. A woman at 6'5" would be a man at fucking 6'9". 6'10" maybe. It's absurd for both peoples. It's not every day you see a man at 6'9", and it's not every day you see a woman at 6'5". It's ridiculous. Some tall folks out here though. Every now and then YouTube always recommends me videos from some Russian lady. She's like 6'8", 6'9", I think. Real pretty, can't lie, real pretty. Every now and then they like to recommend me randomly super tall people for no dang reason. It's probably because every time they do, I tend to watch it. Like, dang, this fool tall, so I watch it. Then they won't send me nothing for like a year or two. And they'll send me some, I'll watch it. I'm like, dang, this fool tall. Nah, that's it. This is probably why I keep getting randomly recommended very tall people out of nowhere. Because it'll be like nothing on feed for like ever. And all of a sudden out of nowhere, tall person out of nowhere on my feed. My YouTube feed is mostly filled with the people I've been watching, the same people I've been watching for the past 12 years. Or maybe longer. Dashy and them, or not Dashy and them, Dashy XP, Thanos Gaming, stuff like that. A couple of newer folks here and there. Then a lot of car stuff, as usual. Some guns every now and then. Although there's probably gonna be more, because I want to look at some AKs. I want to get my hands on an AK. Some stuff for schooling in the future. And, you know, some important things, important knickknacks and whatnot. Let me see where we at. We need one more pose. Let's go for one last good seated pose. Then we move on to the next Warcraft character. We're going over to Ratoria. Oh. Good thing that underwear got safety. I forgot we are not in safety zone. Messing up. The underwear got safety. The underwear is just underwear. That wasn't supposed to happen. But I'm not at safe distance. I'm making mistakes over here. Every time I do this though, I'll be feeling like I feel like somebody creeping on somebody. These them dangerous poses right now. We in the danger zone of poses. These ain't the normal poses. Kinda forgot about that. I'm looking for regular seated poses. It's showing me all the madness right now. Matter of fact, let's skip up a little bit. That's all these are. I was about to say let me go to the side, but that's some of those probably still would have got. What you gotta do when doing Skyrim photography, a lot of these dang poses is madness. Goodness gracious. We're gonna go to Ratoria after this though. Ratoria. I think this pack has a few Blood Elf stuff in it. I'm hoping so. Kinda unfortunate to have all the Night Elf stuff, the Draenei stuff, and Blood Elf stuff. Put her to the side here so we can do this properly. I'll be forgetting sometimes, you know? I'll be forgetting the people who made these packs be making some madness. You know, it's also my fault because I downloaded it, of course. Nobody made me download it. I saw the 4,000 poses. I know I knew at least quite a few of them had to be useful for photo purposes. I guess it depends on what kind of photos you're doing too. All poses are good for photo purposes. It just depends on what pose you might be looking for that photo purpose. A lot of them joints, not really much down. So I put it too far. Backwards. No. Track is a little confusing sometimes. I think the main issue is where we have her sitting. Her height is not working for it. That's the wrong. She is like fucking 6'10". So my tallest character was Arana at 6'8". It was Julia at 6'3", 6'4". Then it was Roderick at 6'4", 6'5". Then it was Arana at about 6'8". My Sun Elf, the Hammer Wielder. But then when I made this character, I'm like, well, this is gonna be my new tallest character because Night Elf females are 6'9", like I said. Although I should make Raimundo a little taller, because it is Raimundo after all. Blood Elves didn't really have to touch Blood Elf height because Blood Elf females are about 5'9", if I'm remembering correctly. Which is not short by any means. Just, I don't have to touch the height if I made her a Breton or something. Bretons are about 5'8". And then for Asia, since Draenei are amongst the tallest of the lady races in Warcraft at about 7'2", I made that character about 7'2"-ish. Boom, that is a full 10 of the gorgeous Raimundo. That being said, let me make sure these is clean real quick. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't be. Yeah, see, the least amount of, I say the least, the less color makes it much more realistic looking. I was adding way too much color to a lot of them. Alright, boom, now we gotta move over to Ratoria and figure out what outfit we're gonna make her rock. Alright, boom, we on Ratoria. This is the closest thing I could get to some Blood Elf looking gear. Red and gold, definitely more like bronze. But then we do still also have the Blood Elf jewelry on the ears, the flower crown, which almost all of my female characters on Warcraft rock, I'm pretty sure. And then we got the neck piece. Then of course, come on man, Season 3 and Black Temple. Alright, know what I'm saying? Now this character, she's going to be an assassin build. I'm not going to get into more information about that now because that's part of the gaming channel type of thing. But I got something crazy for this character. Now I chose the front of Riften for obvious reasons, because out front of Riften has all these lovely yellow trees in front of it. So what better than making a Blood Elf look like they're somewhat in their original land by going to a place where there's a ton of yellow trees all over the place. Though I do have to be careful because technically I built this character on the Haitian lady, what's her name? Anaya. Which she was a voodoo priest, half heals, half destruction with electricity. Which means this character's melee combat is not good. But this is two really good daggers, so it would be fine. Has a small chance to instantly kill and 33 burning damage every hit. So technically that thing's doing 49 damage, which is pretty strong at this level. I think I like this spot. Got the most yellow trees, a lot of nice grass, but the rain not gonna do. It doesn't rain Blood Oath zones. The weather there's perfect. You know? Here we go. Actually, let me put the dagger back. Oop. I'm gonna say right here is good. We're gonna face her in this direction because most of the trees are. Oh, there should be good. Let's change that time a little bit. I need a little bit golden. Yeah, there we go. Clear that back up. Oh, that scared the fucking that scared the crap out of me. Actually, can you come back this way? I don't want you in my shot. Oh my goodness, that might be the hardest I ever jumped. I jumped so dang hard out of my seat it hurt my dang chest because the way I bent backwards. Holy crap. Piece of fucking garbage. Don't you ever in your life scare me like that again, dude. Fuck. Yeah, see, he barely even touched her and hit hard as fuck. Definitely gonna have to level this character's armor level up. For those who don't play Skyrim, when you are leveling a character, a caster character, you want to use caster gear. But caster gear is not considered gear. It's considered clothing. So what happens is, you don't actually level up your soft armor or hard armor or heavy armor or light armor. It's soft armor. I'm thinking of fucking like bulletproof vest and crap. You don't actually level up your heavy armor and light armor because that stuff is considered clothing. So this character is quite weak and not very immune to damage. Turn that lighting up so we can see her actual green eyes. Actually, just turn the color up, turn the lighting down. Got a little too much of that. Turn that contrast up. Back. Actually, no, it's good right there. Boom. Now you can see her green eyes properly. Green eyes, they don't work too well in the morning. Perhaps always look white, but now you can actually see. With her gold and red gear, she really looks like a proper Blood Elf now. Of course, this is very temporary because there's only so much gear that I can use that looks somewhat like Blood Elf gear, because this barely looks like Blood Elf gear. It's just got the proper colors, but it don't got the proper look. Blood Elf gear is very elegant. Very elegant, Blood Elf gear is. Pull up on me again. If I can pull up on me, it's gonna get real tragic. You get up. Every time I do a Take-K lyric, it reminds me that this idiot's in prison for 100 years now. I couldn't imagine finally getting to where I want to get and then throw it away by still going around robbing people. Or not still, I ain't robbed nobody, okay? Be correct that I ain't never robbed anybody, alright? But what I mean is, this idiot blew his dang career up and was still jugging. You serious? How dumb be? It always reminds me. I say it a lot, but it's just crazy. It's dumbfounding how you could ruin your career like that. It doesn't register in my brain. And it just don't. I have finally gotten where I'm trying to be in life. I am not about to ruin it by committing crimes. Dang. Then again, some people think rationally, other people common sense, not as common as you think. No, it might be like, oh, I would never do that. It's dumb. Somebody else, you know, like, best idea they ever heard. Somehow. It is quite strange seeing these characters, I'm not gonna lie. The accuracy of them is pretty fucking good. So seeing them in this way is odd. Number one, I never thought I would see a Warcraft looking character in such quality. Number two, I mean, yeah, quality difference is massive. You can actually see the rounds of her eyes. I didn't think you'd be able to see it that easily. You can. I had to fucking double stack the makeup around her eyes. Because over all of these years, I did not realize I gave Ratoria the angriest face the Blood Elf has. Which I guess is fitting for the character story that I made her. Very angry elf. Never paid it attention until some years later. I was looking at my character. I had used one face. I'm like, something looks off. You look too smiley. Character was just smiling too much. I don't remember Ratoria ever being this smiley. When I hop back on retail, I'm like, oh shoot, she angry as fuck. But I guess it makes sense considering the story I gave around the character as a woman who is supposed to be pretty much not on the brink of insanity, definitely insane. You know what I'm saying? Ratoria's story is sad. Not all your characters can have happy stories, you know. Can't have happy stories like Raimundo and Jadam, you know. Although Raimundo's story is not a very happy one either. Raimundo's story is probably one of the worst stories, one of the saddest stories I made for all of my characters. Her and Ratoria for sure are amongst the saddest when it comes to my Warcraft characters. Her and Ratoria's are they definitely had the worst upbringings. J-Rax was pretty bad too. All my Warcraft characters had not the best upbringings with the stories I made them. Like Jadam as my main character, okay, he was born to a very rich family, but they didn't give not two craps about him. It was like, yeah, he had money growing up, but, you know, if you ain't getting no love and attention from your parents, what does that matter, you know? Throw a little bit of money in your face and tell them, get out your face. I mean, or get out my face, little turd. I mean, type of activity. Then my character J-Rank, who's supposed to be his best friend, that's my light blue elf. I know a lot of folks over here who probably don't play Warcraft, probably not exactly 100% sure what I'm talking about. You would have to see the Warcraft channel, so you could really get an understanding for all of my characters. They're the bestest of friends, but how their friendship started was actually J-Rack knew that Jadam was a rich kid, so he was gonna rob him. Then he found out, you know, it's actually kind of a cool kid. They were about the same age, so he decided to stick around. Thus, you know, like, okay, this dude cooler than I thought he'd be. I'm gonna stick around with him. Raimundo's is far worse though. These were stories I had made when I was a youngster. So at the time I had no clue that the destruction of Dire Mall was like ancient times essentially in Warcraft. So I had based Jadam and Raimundo's meeting along that. I didn't realize that at that point I had basically made them both old as fuck. Let's put her more in the lead. I had both, actually no, these leaves are a little too full. I had essentially accidentally made them both old as fuck. Same with all the kids, same with J-Rack, Naylina, all of them are dumb old. I didn't realize I had did that on accident. I was like, you know what, let me roll with it. Because elves can live a very long time, an absurdly long time. It'll work. So, most of my elf characters are essentially thousands of years old, which is very plausible due to the age in which night elves can live. So they're all stupidly old, and J-Rack already knew Jadam. Like I said, they were friends from a younger time. J-Rack was gonna rob him. This is a rich kid. I need whatever he got. Then he was like, okay, you know what? He actually put. Right. So then he didn't rob him. They became good friends. But then there's Raimundo's part of the story, which is pretty busted. Pretty messed up. Raimundo didn't get to live a good, happy life like the other characters. J-Rack was poor, very poor kid, very poor. Not every night elf is living good. Very poor. That's why he was gonna rob Jadam. They were both rogue. I mean, he was a rogue. Jadam was not yet a rogue. Obviously, Warcraft, your character learns to become something Otherwise, they're just going to be, you know, regular commoner like everybody else. You know, a UFC fighter versus someone who's just a regular person. Essentially, you learn something. You learn a craft, a skill, and boom, so on and so forth. But it's kind of hard to say Raimundo's story because you really got to know, you have to know all of the Warcraft lore and stuff like that. And I don't know all of it, but I know enough of it that surrounds my characters. So, in Warcraft, there's a dungeon called Dire Maul. Dire Maul is a part of a larger city called Eldre Dalas. And the whole dang city got fucking devastated some many years ago in a war, some long time ago. I don't remember exactly. Like I said, I'm not no lore aficionado, but it was some time way back in the Warcraft days. Essentially, when I was younger, I was probably like fucking 10, 11 years old. This was still somewhere between vanilla to TBC, so pretty early. I was like, I want to make it where Raimundo is from, that place. What I didn't know when I was creating it was that that was supposed to be something that happened within the world 25,000 years ago. Okay, so I'm like, some years later, I'm like, dang, okay, well, all my elves are old as fuck. Most of them, at least. Even the kids is old as fuck. Okay. And that whole thing is centered around a bunch of elves getting brutally murdered by demons and crap. Because their whole fucking city was getting devastated due to, I forgot what. One of the old elf ladies that betrayed peoples and stuff like that. So all Nightborn elves turn into the trashier elf, which is the night elf, the Kaldori or some crap like that. Something like that. I'm not 100% sure. Like I said, I ain't no lore head or nothing, but it had to work for my characters. So I made it work with my characters. As for Ritoria, hers is not as catastrophic, but it's just as messed up. So I have two Blood Elf characters. I have Felwood, or two Blood Elf characters that are connected. So that's Felwood, that's my male Blood Elf, that's the first Blood Elf I ever made. And then there's Ritoria. They're supposed to be brother and sister. Ritoria being the little sister, Felwood being the bigger brother. They had parents. Okay? They had parents. They don't know more. Now, Blood Elves are they're basically magic crackheads in comparison to High Elves. High Elves is the pure form, Blood Elf is the magic addicted, undead scorn form, which is what Ritoria is, hence why she has the green eyes. High Elves have blue eyes. Green eyes is a sign of corruption. Blue eyes is the purity. So, with Ritoria, I'm like, okay, I don't want them to be super old, like I accidentally did with my Night Elves, which is fine, because Night Elves can live for dang near ever. They're like lobsters. They only die because their body just gets exhausted. A lobster, if it doesn't get too big, could probably live up to like 600 fucking years. The problem is their body gets too big, they get tired, heart shuts down, you know. It's like the human body. You get too big, the heart has to give up at some point. It's working too dang hard. You know what I'm saying? So, imagine the body of a tiny lobster. And now this lobster weighs like 40 pounds or some craziness. The body gets tired after a while. So, that's what a lot of the elves are. So, with the Blood Elves, they had a issue, if I'm remembering correctly, where they got fucking smacked on by a ton of undead and had to do some crap in order to save their world. Otherwise, there was going to be no more elves. You know what I'm saying? Otherwise, the elf race was going to be no more. Feel what I'm saying? I don't remember what exactly. It was something with the Sunwell and all that extra crap. So you put in these elves later. You got Felwood and you got Ritoria, brother and sister. Theirs is a little more. I mean, of course, having half of your fucking people being decimated by undeads is pretty bad. But now, that's long in the past, and now you got two elves who lose both of their parents to murder. Ritoria, okay, she didn't take it too well. Okay, she started losing her dang mind. And Felwood is pretty much the only thing that still keeps her sane. Now, the thing with Ritoria, though, that I don't really tell people a lot with her story is, she has cannibal activities. She has definitely murdered some of her own. Okay, she got a couple of other blood elves under, you know, under her belt. A couple of Hori under her belt. She knows what certain people taste like when she shouldn't. But that is, you know, the unfortunates of certain people's minds. Some people can't handle certain things like other people can. You know, Bellwood, he's like, bang, I ain't got no parents, but you know, I'm gonna keep striving. I'm gonna do my best. Tori, on the other hand, is like, dang, I saw my 2 parents get murdered. I don't know how to handle it, and she just slowly loses her mind. But because of beauty of great people around her, which is the legendary clan as Jade and Raimundo, all my characters and stuff, keeps her from completely losing it. You know, it definitely happens every now and then. Now, see, the thing back then is I was gonna actually like put all these into like little stories and whatnot, but I never did because the amount, oh shoot, the amount of time it would take to make them happen. I'm like, at that point, I may as well just be making like little movies or something. It would, to me, be much bigger than a little World of Warcraft channel. Now, don't get me wrong, my Warcraft channel was cool and all, but if I'm gonna be doing like scaled stuff like that, wouldn't be on a Warcraft channel. It would be here, where I'm going to do much bigger productions in the future, as big as I can. Of course, you know, you can only do so much as one person, but as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? That's the plan. So I never made it happen. It'll definitely happen in the future though, when I can have far better production and stuff like that, and be able to remember the stories better. You know, I'm kind of just telling them off the brain. These are stories I made when I was much younger. So of course there would have to be some refinement too to make sure that they are balanced and follow the theme of Warcraft. Although with, you know, Ratoria and Felwood, it's much easier. Their dang parents got murdered in front of them. No, of course, that's not something you take very well. Some people can take things well. I mean, you might remember it, but you'll be able to handle it, move through life pretty solid. Other people, okay, I'm losing it, you know. That's Ratoria. Ratoria was the one who was losing it. That's why I made her the first assassin rogue, because on Warcraft, for those who never played Warcraft, the rogue is a class who can sneak around. They could be sneaky. You could pull up on people when they least expect it and smack them out. Right? You got combat / outlaw, which is more of the pirate build. Then you have subtlety, which is more of the sneaky build. And you have assassin. Assassin, the way assassin fights and the way it looks, they be swinging with both hands and crap. Like, you know, with combat, they'll swing one hand and chop with the other hand, swing the other hand, chop with the other. Subtlety, you know, one big hit with one arm straight to the back to try to, you know, ambush somebody. Then you got assassin. Assassin, they be swinging with both arms and crap. Looking like fucking wild fools. So I'm like, you know what? An insane elf under the assassin spec would be honestly the most, it would make the most sense. So I made her assassin, my first ever assassin, and it worked perfectly. She's a fucking elf who lost her dang mind and trying her best not to slip away through life, you know. Although, like I said, she definitely has a couple of other elf kills. I like to. What the fuck is that? That crap, something, they trying to jump scare me. I already got jump scared by that dang spider. That hurt my back. I jumped so dang hard. Or my chest. My dang chest cracked when I jumped up the ribs. Hit my ribs. Alright, that's a full 10 of great looking photos. Let's move on to our chamois. And boom. Now we have the shaman. Look at the tribal gear. Okay. Look at the tribalness of the gear. I did the tattoos on her because there's the top that I use on Warcraft gives her tattoos, so I figured I'd stick with that. Just kind of adds the look. Got the Doom Hammer, okay, and of course some electrical magic is a chamois. So what other magic would be better than the electrical magic? Now I gotta figure out a good spot, okay? Draenei Forests have lots of crystals, though not on purpose, because they crashed their ship, which was covered in crystals. But there's a lot of crystals. I think I have a spot. I'm pretty sure I have a modded spot. Okay, this place is way more blue than I remember it being, but it does still look very Draenei-like, so it'll work. Now, like I said, the weird part is, you know, No hooves. No hooves. Not possible, unfortunately. I really did want to get her some hooves. It made the most sense. Oh, you go all the way up. This place is a lot bigger than I remember it being too. I'm not about to test and see if we could jump down, because if we do that, then we ain't gonna be able to come back up. So keep her about here. Actually, I'm gonna do about here. Platform is bigger. Easy. Dang, dress is glitching out. The physics on this swing a little too hard. There we go. I'm gonna say right here. Yeah, looks pretty crazy in here. Looks pretty crazy. It'll work though. It'll work. All right, let's do the first set with the hammer and the electricity out and ready to go. Or not first set, but at least for 2 of the photos. Whatever poses she do, I'm not sure. Okay, a little big. It's on her horn, so I'm gonna wait till she put it back down. Meantime, what kind of colors would work here? It's quite the place. So make it a little brighter for sure. Bit of contrast. That's pretty good, but I think we have her a little too close. Good down there. See more of the crystals behind her. Give more look to the photo, you know. See less crystals. I kind of wanted to see those crystals too. Those spiky ones right there. Oh, well, back where they were. I mean, of course you won't like see them because we got the blur, but just a little bit. A little bit would be better than none. Reduce the color a little bit so she's not so purple. Look at how close I got with the skin tone, okay? The eyes, only downside was I couldn't change the color of the eyebrows to make it different from her hair color. Of course, obviously she wasn't rocking dreads, but it just works so well because it is still similar to her normal hair. It's just dreaded instead of a straight. Now I need her to put the hammer down. Chamois activity, look at that, man. The Doom hammer, which is also covered in electrical abilities, okay. Guess what, if I want, I can make her rock the Thunder Fury. I can make my character rock a Thunder Fury if I want, you know what I mean? Unlike Warcraft, baby, I can't make my character rock no Thunder Fury in Warcraft, you know what I'm saying? Shamans can't use swords. I would have to make a weird Mace Thunder Fury on Warcraft, which actually isn't a bad idea. But I wouldn't be able to add the magical effect, I don't think. As the person that made that mod that I use, where I create my own items into Warcraft, they haven't updated it in a minute. I was hoping they would, so you could add magical effects to your weapon, which would make them truly like legendaries, but they never did, unfortunately. They never did. Alright, boom, we got 1 photo with the hammer. Now do 2 with electrical hands. She is a shaman at the end of the day, so she could have both hands electrified. Dual chamois activity, you know what I'm saying? That would be elemental right there, elemental shaman. I mean, what am I talking about? Enhancement can definitely cast stuff too. They just prefer to put it on the weapons instead of casting it outright, which has always been my preferred way of chamois activity. Enhancement, baby. Go ahead, get a smile going. Really showing off the chamois power. This is just... See, because I wanted to do Warcraft photos. The problem with Warcraft is it's just not quality enough. This is the way that I can do. I'm moving this dang chair back. Do Warcraft photos without actually having to be on Warcraft. Much better quality. Okay. Make the characters even better looking, more hairstyle options. Now, of course, there's no way for me to give her a tail. I don't think anybody has a tail mod, but if I ever find one, I will. so we can complete the Draenei look. These Draenei do have tails. For those who do not play Warcraft, they are a very tall, I'm about to say tall and slender. That's not true, just the women are slender. The men are built like refrigerators, sideways. But they got hooves and they have a tail with the horn sticking out their head. They're an alien race. They're not even normal to Azeroth. They crash landed in their dang spaceship. Now they live on Azeroth, which is essentially Earth. Okay. Why not? Warcraft players. It'll come to a time where I will begin to forget Warcraft knowledge. Crazy to think about. Well, I mean, if the game ever goes good again, maybe not. But that's easier said than done, considering that has not happened. That ain't happened yet, so I don't know. It probably wouldn't happen out of nowhere all of a sudden. It's funny too because everybody who did play, they say the exact same thing I'm saying, where it's just too much of a grind in the modern day, where you have to spend way too many hours grinding. Just not as good as it once was, depending on whatever expansion you might have liked before. The current expansion is just not as good as that expansion. That's the problem. I know people who fucking love the crap out of Legion. I personally wasn't the biggest fan of Legion. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't like super great either. I was playing mostly private servers through it because it wasn't really that good, but I know people who prefer Legion over modern expansion. Legion really wasn't that special. You know what I mean, it had its moments. It had its moments, but for the most part, it was nothing like any old school expansion. You know what I mean? Whether you like Cataclysm, MOP, whatever it may be, all of those fare much better than a lot of the modern expansions. Now, don't get me wrong, Dragonflight was pretty decent, and the current expansion, War Within, is not that bad. It's just the problem is these grinds are getting more and more ridiculous every new expansion. That's number one. And number two, some of them dang cutscenes, the quality of it, oh yeah, the quality of it's getting lower. Some of them cutscenes they got in like some of these new quests, terrible. It's like, who the fuck designed these cutscenes? What happened to like the cutscenes from like Warlords of Draenor and crap like that? Why we keep getting these in-game cutscenes? If you're gonna do in-game cutscenes, at least make them good. You know what I'm saying? Call of Duty tends to do a lot of in-game cutscenes, but they're always pretty decent. You can tell they're in-game, but they're pretty decent. They're nothing like their actual made cutscenes. Warcraft was used to have a time where they made actual non-in-game cutscenes that were fucking perfection. I keep doing these these dang in-game cutscenes now. Them craps is trash. I just saw one not too long ago. I'm like, man, it's for the Arathor joint. For all my non-Warcraft players, that is one of the spots in the current expansion that you have to level in. They're doing the storyline to that. The problem is, I saw one of them cutscenes. That crap was, ooh, who the fuck designed this bullcrap? I probably could do better than that. And I ain't did a Warcraft machinima in years. Shoot. That crap was hooey dooey pooey, the voice acting too. Like, who the fuck? Don't pull a Volition. Volition is dead and gone. Because of crap like that. Don't pull a Volition now. Get back to that quality stuff, that stuff people knew Blizzard for, and you'll get your fan base back. Till then. And I'm about to say, just like this character, you're walking on thin ice. Ice, so, mind that. These are like crystals. In the dang void right now. Wouldn't know if it's cold, if it's hot, what. But it's like, I don't know what they be on these days, but you know what? That's fine. It is what it is. No game can reign supreme forever, you know? Especially when you got games like Pearl Abyss trying to get up and up and up, trying to bring Black Desert to the forefront. Black Desert is one of the larger underground games, I would say. Because it has a lot of player base and it has a healthy player base. but it's not big yet still. So it's still underground, but the fan base has been around for a very long time. I mean, shoot, I myself, I actually just learned not too long ago that I was playing longer than I realized. I always told y'all I started playing in December. That's not true. Apparently I started playing in November. Okay. So I'm like, okay, I've been playing a little longer than I realized. You know what I'm saying? And that game has always had a very solid community. Well, I can't lie. Shoot, I got Black Desert running right now. Only time I turn Black Desert off to run is for update days, when it's updating and I need to turn my computer off to give it some rest. And or when I'm doing my Cyberpunk photography, because you know Cyberpunk is a very heavy game and you can't have those two running at the same time. They're both heavy games. You don't want two heavy games running at the same time. Skyrim is an old game, and no matter how many mods I put on it, it tends to run pretty much smooth as fuck. So no real issue there. I'm looking for some seated poses. I want seated poses. Down the line. Got this dress on, so anything that's too crazy should be fine. Or not much of a dress at all, more like a kilt kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? But games like Black Desert where I'm not gonna sit here. I've been playing not Cyberpunk. I've been playing Black Desert for a hot minute. I'm not gonna sit here and act like Pearl of this is this incredible company. They got their little shady tactics, every company does. But man, at least they're still answering to people. You find the GMs are in game so dang much is crazy. They be talking with the community all the dang time. You could hop on Black Desert and end up talking to a GM easily. Because they're always doing open world events and stuff. Kind of it's a pretty big thing on Black Desert. I ain't sit here and lie to you. You see it quite often. Okay. Warcraft, man, shoot, dude. These are the same people who say, don't you guys have phones? You guys have phones? What's the problem? Like, you ain't really getting it, huh? Well, nobody want to play. Now, I personally have never really been big on Diablo. I only played Diablo 4, which had a great storyline. I gotta give it to them. Great storyline, a lot of great voice acting. Even your character did a bit of talking themselves. I was pretty surprised by that. But it's like, you're not really listening to people no more. Kind of just trying to do your own whatever the fuck. And it ain't working too well. This is why people keep disappearing. You know what I'm saying? This is why people keep disappearing from the game. You ain't doing what people are asking for, really. Here and there, every now and then, but not very often. Okay? Problem is, people get tired of that. I was one of many of those people. Got tired of the unnecessary amounts of grinds. Then you get upset that people are doing their little level 11 twinking leveling. It's like, damn, we can't even do that. We can't even at least goof around with the trial stuff. Now, of course, you could still do the dungeons and whatnot on the trial account. Of course, that's not gone. You can easily hop on and do some trial account stuff, but they nerfed the dungeon itself at that level so badly that the dungeons are way dang slower. It's like, damn, we not even at least allowed to have casual fun. You know what? Somebody made a good point. I'm pretty sure it was Torment. He was like, you know what? It probably is the leveling thing, but it's probably also having to do with they don't want people to see that it's more fun at a low level than it is at a high level. Which is crazy because, well, that is the truth. That's why I was doing a lot of that level 11 twinking stuff, is because it was more fun. For my non-Warcraft players, that's when you take a character at level 11, and twinking in Warcraft means gearing the absolute crap out of that character at that low level. It's when, no, I'll say it backwards. It's when you take a low level, doesn't matter what level they are. If they're far from the max level, that could be level 10, 11, 19, 29, 20, 39, 49, and which is very far from the max level. You take that character who is not max leveled and you gear them out as if they were max level. Blizzard didn't like that too much. People were having too much fun, and they nerfed it. by making all the NPCs at that level have way higher health than they normally would have, and normally would even need. Because, well, I'm gonna have to agree, people were having too much fun, and levels, them dang tokens. Nobody was buying. No, you ain't gotta buy no XP tokens if people just giving you free levels and whatnot, free level runs and all that. So I'm like, you know what? That's fine. That now we're here, playing Warcraft characters. Looks great. Granted, it's safe to say that Deja definitely came out my favorite. She looks absolutely fantastic. That right there is a full 10. She looks fantastic, and the dreads match her nicely. Though I did want to darken her eyebrows, kind of like how they are on Warcraft, but I mean, it still looks perfectly fine. And she got like I said, the tribal looking tattoos. I was gonna use this gear on Raimundo, but I'm like, nah, this gear. Well, this isn't the same chest piece. I had to switch it because it was clipping through her side, which is crazy because this is the smallest body I've made. Only thing I changed was make the character very tall, but the scaling of gear has nothing to do with the character's height, just the body. For some reason, on the smallest body I've made, very slim built character, it was still clipping. It was clipping through the rib cage, which didn't look right. Even the bottom half is clipping for some reason. That should be right there. Pretty sure. Okay, you can't see it, but usually on the upper area. Now it's probably not clipping too bad on the upper area here because this body is much slimmer than the other ones. But I mean, yeah, I'm gonna have to say this is my favorite of the three. Don't get me wrong, Raimundo and Vittoria look great, but this right here, this came out absolutely fire. Yeah, she came out straight fire, dude. That is a full 10, my good peoples. That is a bunch of Warcraft characters. Definitely you'll be seeing these fools more often as I adapt them to the regular world of Skyrim, Daedric armor, and all that good stuff. Look, I need you to do a couple of things. Hit that subscribe button, that like button, that notification bell. Show which people join Legendary Clan Sport Channel become legendary. I do all things photography, virtual, real life, sometimes AI. Check out the gaming channel. I upload often there. Music channel. I upload fairly often there. Instagram. That's where I post most of these photos. Deviant for the stuff that's a little too much for Instagram, but never too much. Don't go over there expecting madness. That being said,